If you're a fan of Welsh football, you need to look away from real life. Cardiff were relegated, Newport this year look like they're going to be relegated, and Swansea City not doing very well in the Championship, sacking their manager and sitting, I believe, in the bottom half clearly after key signings like Adam Eder of Celtic, Burgess of Ipswich punching above to get from teams above, as today I help a nation and a team in Swansea City with the ultimate Swans road to the Champions League. As yes people, and welcome Swansea fans in particular for this one where I'm rebuilding your team in FC26. I've got to say again, it's horrific to see what they're doing in real life, but this team with Eder still on the bench somehow, Inusa, don't know about this man. And the Swans in general, I don't know about them because they're not doing too good. They've had really good prospects like Ronald, only 24. Eom Ji-sung, 23. He's a prospect, 23-year-old in this man who I didn't know who he was. Goncalo Franco, brilliant. 24-year-old up front. And then a 29-year-old Burgess. But this team overall smells of potential and should be not doing this bad. Which they're doing in real life, and as you can see, I haven't used life points. We play a really good strong team in Middlesbrough to start off with. As I can't lie to you guys, from the outside in, I don't think they should have hired the manager. They just went ahead and sacked in real life, as we've got 7 million. And the manager they just sacked is Alan Sheehan, who was their assistant coach previously and hasn't done a good job, so he is out of here. As I don't know about getting players out, but I definitely want to change the shape of this team. I think the strikers are very decent, because this Vipotnik just scores for fun in real life, but this is me in charge, so I'm going to make my own custom tactics and take Swansea City, yes, to an unfamiliar formation, the 3-4-3 flat, which looks like that when every player is in position, or in their tactical shape, because this is going to be harsh on some lads and require some changing around, as we've got Franco or Stamanic, who can move back into a back three, and I think I am going to trust Marco to be the man stepping back. Franco stepping forward, as I just think this team is made for this formation. We've got Ji-sung, who's going to move forward 2 weeks to a left midfielder, same as Ronald. At 24, I think the Brazilian can score goals. The only issue here, or two issues, is we've got two decent strikers, and Cullen, who is Welsh, and I did say I wanted this to be a Welsh rebuild, doesn't make his way into the team. And when I do say Welsh rebuild, I don't mean we can only sign Welsh players. I just want to try and make a spine Welsh core. I think I've done it too much on this channel, just building with Welsh talent, but I do want to use some from the start to get them growing. And Owen Beck, I don't know if we can utilise him because he's actually only on loan from Liverpool, but an in-game face, and plus he can play left midfield, and I think that could help us dearly. We will lose Manuel Benson, and Josh Tyman was never going to be a left mid. I do want to change this round as well to have Ji-sung a little bit more attacking. And yes, I know Inusa was the left wing and he had better shooting. I don't know. I just trust the man we have on the wing. And Arlo Richards is an Englishman. Do I really want to force through English talent? Probably not. So I'm going to release him. But then the other man, Pavlo Bibic, he's going to get a promotion as our first choice goalkeeper. We've got Lawrence Vigaloo, but there is Ruslan Nesharet playing for Champions League Dynamo Kiev, but we do have 7 million to spend. As yes, he's lower rated than Vigaroo actually is at the moment, but he's younger, and I have made him a crucial keeper, so he should start there. And with my formation change, let's not forget I've come in and been a rash manager. Apart from Burgess and Cabango, while Stamanic trains, we only have Ricardo Santos. I'm going to go out there in the meantime and get another centre-back until our CDM trains. And this man is Joshua Vertraund. Or is it just Vertraud? But the W very, very evident in that name, as he could actually go into the team above our man Stemanic, not trained. This man's 3 years younger, actually grown, I think, a +4 since we signed him. Left-footed centre-back, big plus, and then he's got 70 defending, 76 physical. Really good player, it just depends on his training, as we've got a lot to train, like Josh Tyman to a left mid, 73. That's not bad at all. As we're changing a lot squad around. Galbraith, look at him as a centre mid. We'll need that because our current one, who's grown, Malik, only on loan from Brighton Hove Albion. And finally here it is, Stamanic, doesn't grow as a centre back. The way we've just grown Ronald as a right wing. Also Ji-sung, he's still playing at left mid. I swapped them round again, but he's gone to a 76. Galbraith going to go into that centre mid as Burgess now our best player. We've got Ronald, a lot of 76ers, hopefully meaning we've had a good season. With our top scorer, Vipotnik, over Adam Eder, who still grew +3. I think they've shared game time very well. And we've done very well as a team because I did not expect that. And yes, not using life points probably helped us, but finishing top of the playoff pile. 4 points off Ipswich Town. I don't think we were ever winning the championship or automatic promotion as we're beaten by Tottenham in the first round of the FA Cup. We entered, and then Charlton in the first round we entered of the Carabao. None of that really matters though. I just want to win playoff football. In the Russell Martin derby, but there we go, 3-2. We lose to the bottom team in the playoffs, Norwich City. Gutting, but like I said at the start of this build, this is going to be a long-winded process, so if you're ready for this, make sure you subscribe and leave a like on the video. We're aiming for 70,000 subscribers and maybe 500 likes, let's say, as £11 million to spend. That's gorgeous money, as now they're expecting to gain automatic promotion and reach the round of 16 of the FA Cup. Good stuff. I hope we can complete it. As completing this team should be difficult, I know he's our lowest rated, but Bertrand, really trust him, really shrewd bit of business. And now we're getting loan players back, like this man Bianchini, don't know where he's been. Looks like a Portsmouth kit, and we did loan out this man Widdell, and also Babic, a Ukrainian to go with our Ukrainian goalkeeper we currently have, so we actually can't sell this man. He's got to offer the other a little bit of support. As speaking of, there's players here now we don't need. Bobby Wales has some decent potential, we'll loan him out. We do not need to keep Josh Thomas. Do we even have to keep Vigouroux? Now, I know he's been a backup in the Prem before with Burnley, so I might keep him just for that extra bit of experience when we hopefully get promoted as Cameron Congreve. He's Welsh. He's sticking around as Ethan Galbraith. Still strikes me as a backup man due to that versatility, as if we do get a key central midfielder in, that could unlock some play for us. But then again, Josh Tymon's another one who could easily have a place on this bench. If we take Bianchini out, we do need another centre mid because we don't have one on this backup brigade of a bench. As I said, Welsh. Now I'm not actually going for a Welsh player. I just want to find some talent, and I'm enjoying looking around the world in leagues I usually wouldn't look at. And Benjamin Bouchouari, anyone better over here in these leagues? Kasper Kozlowski, 72. I just think he's missed the boat on being really good for us. So yes, he's over the age of 23, but Benjamin Bouchouari, him sharing game time with Ethan Galbraith, had some brilliant competition, and I know he might actually not start. Going a little bit back on my words, but yeah, let's go and get another left midfielder through the door, as Joshua not very strong at 2172, and actually could be a left midfielder this season if we train him there. But no, I'm going to put my trust in him. I'm going to put my trust in youth players, as now we need to find a more youthful player on that left-hand side of midfield. As in Noosa's going to the right, I just think he'd be better on his preferred foot. Swinging some crosses in, as £5 million to find the right player after coaches have been bought. And I'm going to Argentina, as I've found another potential wonder kid, 20-year-old Santino Andino. Yes, the signings are getting more expensive, but the wonder kids are growing because of +8 to Santino Andino. What a name! The new signing we've made, as we've got some brilliant growth to some players right here. A +7, +6, +6, and a +7. This is wonderful. Now, I did buy coaches, and of course everybody's on drills, helping us to grow forward as a 78 now on the right. Zedain, as this is perfect, and hopefully we've had another good season. Look at this first team. We've got 80 rated in the championship now. This is honestly a really good squad. Now, I did struggle to loan some players out like Widdell, who has lost his potential now. Not as much growth as I was hoping for, but we have scored goals, hence the increases in ratings. 20 from Yom Jin Sung, and then 16 Ronaldo. Surely sits Swansea City in good stead for a return to the Prem, which I am praying for. But when you look at the goal scorers, a lot above our lads, and a lot above our brilliant goalkeeper, Ruslan, in clean sheets. Ramsdale still in this division, and Lucas Perry of Leeds United, who's very well rated. And the points tally builds up for us and Southampton and Burnley, but none of us can break that top two. It is the relegated teams going up again. I mean, Leeds United, 109 points. Madness. Surely that's not under Daniel Farke right now. Then again, if it is, he knows how to win championships, then never do it in the Premier League, as West Brom beat us in the first round we entered again of the FA Cup. Not that round of 16, as Manchester United in the round 3 of the Carabao. And the playoffs, it's another Russell Martin derby in the finale. But we're promoted. We beat Southampton 2-0 after just squeezing against Leicester. But that is a promotion trophy and a second season promotion, as I knew it wasn't Daniel Farke. In charge of Leeds United is a man called Marco Collard. So season 3 is going to be spent in the Premier League. I think we should be surviving with the team we have and the budget. 38, usually get around 60. In the first season back in the Prem, do we try and find a Michu-like player, someone to try and carry us out of this relegation zone we start in? As I stick by it, yes, I do think we should be surviving. Now we've got a 31-year-old Burgess, but on the bench from the same nation, Stamanic. So I feel quite calm there. Really good ratings all around, I've got to say. Now Galbraith, I didn't expect to be an 82. And where do we sign here? To be fair, I think we start by going a little bit further deep. Yes, deep. Marco Collard, who just got 109 points with Leeds, played Park the Bus. We know defensive work works in the Prem, or getting you there at least, as I'm going to drop Galbraith to a box-to-box to pair him up with a deep-line playmaker. The wide midfielders are on support. The coaches have been bought. We're rhyming here, but can we try and make a rhythm in our defence of keeping clean sheets? But I think the loaning we've done's been beneficial, because players like Melker Widdell and Fulton, I don't think we have to keep here, as it's time to make money, even if it is just pennies for Ricardo Santos and Vigouroux, who I can't lie, I thought I would get a lot more money for. Selling being the aim of the game, and Ben Cabango, now an offer from Leeds United. They've already got 2 Welsh centre-backs. And the only way I actually get rid of this man is take off all the money and try and swap him for, say, Joe Rodon. He's got more experience here. No sign of Ethan Ampadu. And I do think we need a fresh face, but no, Joe Rodon. So that is going to be a rejection from me. Only trading Welsh for Welsh, as we need a Welsh spine here in Wales, obviously, but an offer for Marco Stamanic. None for Burgess, weirdly enough, so with us signing another centre-back. In this window, we are going to have to free up some space selling this man right here, as we now sit on 46 million, and we need a class man. Someone to replace this man when he gets older, and I never realised he's left-footed. Playing on the right, I usually never make that mistake, and Vertraud is both-footed, predominantly left, so I'm going to play him in the middle, getting some experience there, and heavily risking it, as I've gone all around the nations with our signings. Maybe in the Championship there's a centre-back who's fallen deep to where he shouldn't be, but the best is actually only Victor Nelson. Or scrap that, Max Rosenfelder, but I don't feel like we need him. So guess what? I'm going overseas. Valentin Gomez at only 24, relatively cheap, and will work with our other Argentinian in Andino, but for safe measures, because it was actually relatively cheap, I'm going to bring in an experienced man in Sam Bukima. He comes from Napoli. Experience in winning the Scudetto is this man right here, the 29-year-old, actually physical for a defender, something we haven't had in quite a while, and our bench is really good, something we've also not had in a while, apart from the goalie. That's very, very solid. In fact, Key must have been playing, because we can put him in the team as the midfielder, Ronald as the winger, who's a little bit behind the left-hand side of Yom Ji-sung, absolutely better than Hyun Min Son, from the same nation, and Santino Andino, definitely getting there. In potentially being the next Messi. I'm really liking the Argentinian. And I'm also liking Adam Eder, making the move from Celtic, 17 goals. Arrived before I was here, Galbraith doing very well in the middle of the park. And Joshua Vertraud. I didn't expect a +5 from him. I expected Burgess to still play, and I did not expect this from us in our first season in the Premier League. An 8th place finish is mental. Here's me thinking we go down, as it's Sunderland, it's Leeds, and Wolves. Very surprising, as we don't finish above any of the top 6. Or Sky Sports top 6, so no bragging right for us at all, and definitely not in the Cup. In round 5, beaten by Accrington Stanley. Who are they exactly? We should never be losing at that stage to that team. And Leeds United 2-1 after trying to sign Cabango. Now firmly sat on our bench, and I would have loved to go into the Conference League, but hey, signed some good defenders, and now we just need to strengthen our right-hand side. Gotta say, I love challenging rebuilds, where there's free agents, where there is a nation build, but I do like just normal ones as well, experimenting with players and with budgets, because £3 million is definitely an experiment to improve this team. Yes, it's got to be said, it's got to be on this right-hand side somewhere. We make a signing with Ronald, 27, still pacey. Josh Key, predominantly a right back, so does his defensive duties. Probably more so than Andino. But then again, on the bench, we've really crafted a good player here at 26. Inusa definitely could be let go, because just behind him, a Welshman, Liam Cullen, at 29, left-footed, so can cut in. Something I didn't want Zidian doing. That's Inusa's first name. And yes, we didn't qualify for Europe, but a Europa League spot and win the FA Cup. Okay, the Swansea board are asking for a little bit much here. I thought they'd be a bit more lenient after the success of previous seasons, and I think, again, it means we're selling players to get someone good for the right-hand side. And we do have 2 spare centre-backs with a 55 million offer for Joshua Vertraud. Very good. But guess what? I think we found our gem here, him being one and Andino being the other, and I do not want to let them go. We're a project team. I think they'll want to be part of the project, which Florian isn't, and Cotterill the same. Sometimes you've just got to let go of the good players. Or let me rephrase that, good players for League 1 level, as I tell you what, Inusa's got very lucky, because the only offer we received was for Josh Key, and he wasn't even transfer listed, now competing with Evan Gassand and probably Morgan Rogers, so he's screwed his career over slightly, leaving us. But it had to happen, and 54 million went a long way last season. Of course, we went and signed Gomez, and we also managed to squeeze in Bukema. But this season, we've got to squeeze in a right midfielder with defensive duties, but then also sound attacking-wise, because we do like to go and score goals. So his physical is decent, but his potential has dropped off a cliff. Welcome Giovanni Reina, the American at Mönchengladbach. Now, he did get to an 84, so he's gone to an 87. Has reached some potential level. But come on, you would be lying to yourself looking at how good he once was and saying that 87 is his ceiling. He can go so much higher, as this team can, with some incredible talent. Not actually getting into the team of the season, though. But look at it. Look at the ratings. 289s, 188 here. Franco is now our captain, and it's the left side that contributes most, and the right hand side, our striker now. Adam Eder is behind both wings, with Zan Vapotnik actually looking like a decent backup for 27. He's scoring for fun in real life for Swansea City in the Championship, when they've actually looked like scoring, and Ji-sung is 3rd on the list. For the Premier League, and we're 5th on the entire list. We just miss out on Champions League places by 1 point, and the goal difference was enough. But we do get into Europe through the league and also the FA Cup, because guess what? Swansea have a trophy after the first few seasons being terrible, never getting past round 3. We get to pocket the FA Cup, which isn't the one they won in real life. I believe it was the Carling Cup. Was it called that? Now the Carabao, which they did win at 1 point. But here, We lose to the rivals Cardiff, who are still a League One team. At least we can take some positive in knowing that fact. Rotting down there themselves, and yeah, at least we did win a trophy. Cardiff didn't win the one they were in, as we're expected to get in the UCL, win the Europa League, and win the FA Cup. But we've got investment up to £87 million alongside our God squad, which honestly, the weakest player being an 84 centre-back, and then the bench being very strong apart from the goalkeeper and centre-back also fills me with a lot of confidence that we should be able to do our challenge, as now Ida, 89 pace, 89 shooting. Okay, statistically it looks like a player we actually can't sell. 5-star weak foot and Vipotnik with 83 shooting. I think I'm going to have a race. Both of them being transfer listed. Hopefully one does get sold, and whichever remains here will be the backup to a godly striker, one that hopefully can outscore our wingers and hopefully does come with a big price tag, allowing me to sink my money in, but the only offers are for the weaker players. Until hang about, an offer for Adam Eder from Chelsea of 125.2 million. What are they seeing in this man to sign this man? I mean, it's Chelsea. They'll spend loads. They'll buy loads. Todd Bowley's pockets are endless, but that is mind-boggling. Don't see any logic in that one. I don't think he'll play over Liam Delap, the backup to the backup, as now we've almost got 200 million. And we could now go more than striker. In the first team, there's a centre-back position where Gomez is right there. 84 rated, though, at 26. I think he'll actually get some game time, so let's look to the bench as well. We'll get a goalkeeper and centre-back, like I did say, and then maybe another player for there, if we really need to. And yeah, let's get stuck into some backups, shall we? Before the main man. So firstly, we've got Dogan Almada, the Turkish goalkeeper from the Pro League, quite cheap, and this man the same for his rating of 84, Leonardo Balderi, because he is the age of 30. 30 million on the man we've just signed from Frankfurt, and there he is, potentially the club captain, as Franco's it in the first team. But yeah, first team wise, striker. And I'm going to go big with our Argentinian links, because we've been going that way with our winger. And defender we had, a 90 rated 29-year-old Julian Alvarez. Just looks unbelievable, but we've got to be very careful we don't get Atleti running away from the offer. Unai Emery in charge of Madrid, as I don't want to lose him. 125 million plus a 10% sell-on clause is enough to steal the Argentine, who hopefully takes us to a Europa League. And guess what, guys? I'm going in the opposite order this time round, because I think we should have done well in the Europa League. And guess what? We've won it with Julian Alvarez, hopefully getting that finale goal. Beating PSV in a final I expected us now to win. And that does put us into the Champions League. But guess what? Not our only trophy. We're going backwards with the Carabao. Not backwards in form, but backwards in looking at cups, which we are winning, with that being our second, our third overall in 2 seasons. However, the FA Cup, oh my days, Harrogate Town. At least it wasn't Cardiff City, but maybe just as bad as the Community Shield won by Arsenal. And this season it's a treble. 4 defeats in a Premier League campaign. That is wonderful, as Swansea and Wales dominate England. Yes, making it a treble. That is 3 trophies, 4 in 2 seasons, as my brain couldn't even comprehend. We've got 90 rated all over the shop in Reina, Andino, Ji-sung, Alvarez, and Nurshet. On Nesheret, defense looking clean. Then midfield as well. Galbraith is higher rated than Franco. Bizarre stuff. With a solid backup brigade, we've got 84s on the bench and 82s. And players now scoring 30 plus goals. In fact, there's 2 of them. Alvarez and Ji-sung, with Ronaldo himself even getting 20. 110 million whilst having that squad that we already had and the goal scorers. Gotta say, nothing less than a Champions League title needs winning. As I remember in past years when I rebuilt this team only using Welsh players. Well, look what happens when you don't just stick to one nation. You're expected to win everything. Is this 5 seasons in, or maybe 6 as the international breaks? I don't know how Roland isn't in the team, or Ronaldo, and also Vertraud. Gotta be very controversially kept out of the 11 for the Netherlands, but Yuri Baas, he's lower rated, maybe because he played in the Eredivisie. He's kept around, but Wouter Goes, he looks good, maybe a potential signing. I'm already alluding to some signings when honestly, I don't know what we do for them, as we kind of know why Ronaldo isn't in the Brazil team, and it's because of this man, Rodrigo, who in fact we could afford if we wanted to sign him. But no, Ronaldo got 20 goals, Reina behind him suitable. Inusa as a backup suitable, but maybe we could go for another striker now. As like I say, Vopotnik in real life, a big fan of him, a championship striker from the same country as another big man who could potentially be our backup striker, bizarrely said, because who in their right mind would dream of Šeško as the backup at Swansea? Probably not me as well, because I actually don't want to sign that man. Affordable, yes, but I don't want to do it, as who's the manager of them right now? Brian Prisk. I've got no idea who that man is. Eddie Howe at Liverpool. Iraola at Crystal Palace. Xabi Alonso at Chelsea. Arne Slot at Aston Villa. Vincent Kompany at Arsenal. Moves have been made in this Premier League whilst we've not been here, and maybe moves can still be made for a Premier League striker because I want someone at this level to play. Having Alvarez as Champions League dominant, and then someone from the Premier League as dominant for this division. And Liam Delap, he wouldn't be all our budget, but like I said, Adam Eder would struggle to actually play against this guy in the Chelsea team being mistreated, and I'm going to bring him along to play at Swansea City, and I know it is an English striker. I wish I would have got someone talented from Wales, but there was none available. But then again, Delap, with his game time in the Premier League, conjures up 15 draws, only 7 defeats. If we don't take all them draws, we finish in second or third, and we're far off City, only on 78 points themselves, and we were beaten in another Community Shield. Then the FA Cup. Okay, now that makes me feel a little better about the Cups. We win 4-3 over Man City to get our 5th trophy in 3 years. My mind's starting to go blank, but guess what? It's another double. Domestic trophies are our thing, and also knockout competitions are. Winning most of them last year, but then not doing too well in the Champions League phase. 7th does get us a bye to the round of 16, and hopefully we have balanced football with the other competitions, and put, of course, most of our time into winning the Champions League. Beating Nuno's Leverkusen. I saw he went to that club, and Dortmund, we hardly ever fail against those lads. Securing a final against Real Madrid with an ex-Atleti striker in Alvarez, and this should be very fun with the 90 rated we have on show. Reina now being the best one though, and that's really weird because I never thought he would actually grow that much, same as Santino and Dino. And Alvarez, and a whopping 45 goals for Yeom Ji-sung, 20 for Ronaldo, 18 for Alvarez. And here we are in Manchester. Okay, this is unusual. And I've got to say, oh my days, I've got to stop this attack first. There we go, Gomez. Well, I was going to say the gaps in the middle are probably going to be our problem with our formation being very wide. And another terrible pass. And another thing is if Ji-sung has a brilliant finale today here, he could be winning the Ballon d'Or if we can touch this ball and take it off Real Madrid. Them knocking it around us. We should have better ratings than Madrid as well with the 90 rated, as the overlap system should work for us. That's asking a lot of Ronaldo. The one thing we didn't actually have covered or accounted is how good Real Madrid would be. But now we've got the ball, we've got to try and make the most of this. It's Ronaldo around the corner. That's a good ball into Reina, and a brilliant ball into the middle. What a save by Gomez. Or not Gomez, it is Costa, Diogo Costa with the save, and that's a ball towards Valentin. I thought there was a hand in there from the Madridster. Going into the second half now. At least we've got a bit of the ball to ourselves. Oh my days. I did not think that was going in, and I'm stunned. That is the first time in a while I've had no reaction to a half-volley finesse by Galbraith. What a finish! Which you've got to say, maybe Costa should have saved that one after making a remarkable save in the first half. That it gives us the advantage against a good Madrid, but Ronald making the tackle up the field and Alvarez speeding through. He has not been in this game at all. Whatever happened at halftime has worked for the Swans. 2-0 up at Old Trafford, beating Real Madrid. What a contrast from that first half, it's got to be said, as Ronald If he can pass it down that line, it was almost a brilliant use of this formation, allowing so much underlapping, overlapping, and everything in between. Has drilled that in the middle. Alvarez with a turn and shot. If he would have got his second against his ex-rivals, I would have been happy. Maybe we could go for a Galbraith shot, but now it's Valentin Gomez. It falls out to Reina, who gets there ahead of Bellingham. This second half is maybe the best finale half of all time. We just seem to have wanted it a little bit more, but now Jude Bellingham, what a finish. Jude Bellingham, I don't know why you're doing that, my man. You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy. Trust me. You might be, though, if you get the ball back from Mbappe here. All my days, it is 3-2 to us. And maybe I was a little bit wrong in saying we were having the best half of all time, because now we've got 5 minutes to hopefully see this clock down. But Madrid's pressing is unreal. Franco through the middle. Please force a corner. No, he's caught it, and they're going to come at us. Galbraith, if he could have just hit a shot like he did in that first half, we'd be home and dry. Wasting time from the corner. We're not going to do it, and that is a good return ball. Kylian Mbappe misses the header, though. Whack that ball out of play, and that time we do win this tight game. What a second half where Swansea will cause some problems. And it's going to be Franco lifting this trophy, who honestly was everywhere. An N'Golo-like performance, as if you do want to see any other team perform, which is maybe an underperforming one, or maybe some kind of challenge. Drop them in the comments below, as thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment who is next.